fences make great neighbors, but they also cause
Right.
most murders.
Man of the year! Man of the year! Man of the year!
Welcome to the #1 friendship podcast in the country. I'm Matt Ritter.
I'm Aaron Karo.
Dude, I was just thinking about my neighbor for some reason. Did I ever tell you about how I became friends with my neighbor?
No.
It's kind of a ridiculous story. So my old owner of the house, the previous tenant, never forwarded their mail, which is
What?
super annoying.
What a weird thing to do.
Yeah, like obnoxious. Like never forwarded.
Oh, I just more meant like, what? Don't they need their mail?
Right. Like apparently not.
Okay.
So this is at my old house.
Yeah.
So mail just kept coming. Like, and it was like, all right, we piled it up for like 3 weeks. Let me ask you this. What is the appropriate amount of time you give before you maybe crack something open? Well, hypothetically, because this is maybe
for legal reasons, this is a joke. I mean, probably a month.
Yeah, this was over a month.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just a little justification here, right? So package comes over the fence. Neighbor throws package over the fence. Okay, and it's like a box. And so it sits there for like a couple days, and maybe we opened it.
Right.
And maybe it turned out my neighbor had been to rehab.
Okay.
And maybe it turned out my neighbor wrote a letter to his wife who was living there, or ex-wife, whatever. Yeah. And it was like an apology for all the pain he had caused. And maybe it came with
amends?
Maybe it came with a tchotchke that looked like a psychotic serial killer doll that was painted.
Okay.
Like a voodoo doll.
Uh-huh.
Let's just say maybe I opened that.
Okay.
And then I immediately regretted it. My wife and I were like, holy shit. We just closed it back up and then threw it in the garbage. We were like, God damn it.
Why did your neighbor throw it over your fence?
It was because it got delivered to them.
Okay.
This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's just never speak of this again. This never happened.
Yeah.
So a couple days later, I get a text from my neighbor who I don't know at all.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, so I got a call from your old owner of the house. Like they were expecting a package. Did you get it? And I'm like, nope.
Well, what do you mean? He's the one who threw it over the fence.
I know. So I was like, oh, please, God, don't let him remember that he fucking threw it over the fence.
Yeah.
So then like an hour later, he's like, are you sure? Because I threw it over the fence. I signed for it. I'm like, didn't get it. He's like, are you sure? He's like pressing me. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the cleaning lady threw it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, would the cleaning lady really throw out a FedEx package that was signed for? So I was like, I don't know. Maybe I threw it out, whatever. Do you want to come over for a drink?
Yeah.
So then well,
that was a weird transition.
Yeah. I just so then
trying to just get him off.
So then I got him over for drinks. And then we started having drinks. And then it turns out they had beef. So then I came clean about the whole thing.
I wonder how many drinks it take you to come clean.
Well, only after he told me they got in a fight and he would throw lemons over the fence at the guy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like neighbor wars.
Right.
So then I was like, I have to come clean about something if we're going to be neighbor friends. I did open the package. He's like, yeah, you think I'm a fucking moron? Obviously. I signed for the package. FedEx had a record of it. So anyway, so then we became good buddies.
Yeah.
So the best part is a couple days later, the guy shows up at my house.
Okay.
And I'm on my coffee walk.
Yeah.
And I see him pull up in the driveway. So I just kind of hide behind a tree to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And Jessie answers the door.
You just left her.
Just left her.
Yeah.
Just left her high and dry to lie.
Yeah.
And he goes, so I'm moving to Guatemala or I think it was some Central American country.
Yeah.
We're moving this week, but there's something really important I have to get for my wife.
Huh.
She's like, okay.
Yeah.
She's like, I have all your mail. So she gives him a pile of mail this high. And he's like, oh, I don't need that. He's like, I just came for this one FedEx package.
Oh, no.
She's like, never got it. Goodbye. Slams the door on him.
Oh, my God. I love the picture of you just hiding behind.
Oh, cowardice.
Yeah.
Cowardice.
Yeah.
So anyway, but now me and my neighbor are good, we're good buddies as well. The old house. But yeah, it was that's how we became friends. Built on a web of lies.
Do you always become friends with your neighbors?
I would say I have. I wanted to get into that as an episode topic, neighbor friends.
Neighbor friends.
What do you think about neighbor friends as an idea?
As my neighbor?
Won't you be my neighbor?
Well, that's the first person you're going to see. It's the closest by proximity. You don't have to go anywhere.
Let's go through the pros first.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like the low key hang.
Okay.
Is baked in. Every hang with your neighbor is essentially a low key hang.
Right.
Just like, hey, you want to come over and have a beer? You want to come over, watch the game?
Yeah.
You want to have lunch? I'm saying you don't need any pretext with the neighbor.
Right.
Which is great.
No planning.
Right. There's no planning required. Like all the things that you would feel the pressure to do with a non-neighbor new friend.
Right.
Skip it.
Right.
Skip over it.
Right. No pretense.
No pretense.
Yeah.
But you're also really locked in.
Yeah. Do you remember in college, there was a term called hallcest?
No.
Where if you hooked up with someone in your hallway, then it would be super awkward because you'd see them all the time.
Had a lot of hallcest. And it was super awkward.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
But then they end up hooking up with somebody else down the hall. And it's like,
I mean, it was a different time.
Back then, if you lived on a hall where there were like 40 people,
right?
Say 38 of them hooked up with somebody on that hall.
Yeah.
Good time.
I want to go to.
I want to go back to college so badly. I just want to go to
Matt's college. Yeah.
It was a state school.
Yeah. Oh, got it. Unlike you, I'm not going to rip into a state school.
Oh, I can rip into my own.
You could rip. You're allowed to rip into your own college. Yeah. But I see a lot of potential cons in being friends with a neighbor.
Okay.
If you don't get along, you could be getting lemons thrown over your fence.
Yes. Also, actually had a recent kind of like thing. Our fence kind of came down a little.
Fences
make great neighbors, but they also cause most murders.
Yes. Fences are always a thing. I know like 20 people have fence problems.
I've had now 2 directional. I share 4 big property.
Yeah.
I share 4 borders. This was ridiculous. One of them back there. So we have a nice fence, but behind that we have like a rickety old fence that was built before that. And so the old person who had this house built this really nice fence. So my neighbor on the back lot asked if she could remove the old fence.
Yeah.
So I thought I was being nice. I was like, yeah, sure. You can just share my fence, whatever.
Yeah.
Stirred up an entire rat's nest, cut down trees. So I was like, hey, you stirred up a huge rat's nest. That's now a problem.
Right.
Would you maybe just replant?
You mean literally a rat's nest?
Yeah.
I thought you were using that as a...
No, it wasn't a euphemism. Like all of a sudden we never had rats. And then she stirred up some shit. And then like a bunch of rats started showing up, which we had to get rid of. So then I was like, hey, could you replace those trees?
Right.
I will pay for it.
Yeah.
And she was like, we'll have to run it by the other owners of a condo. It was like a building.
Yeah.
And so she comes back with, we talked it over. No, we're not going to do that. I'm like, you're not going to do that? Like I literally was being neighborly and did all that. And so then I was like, I'll be nice about it. A week later, she came back. She's like, I will do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll pay for it. She's like, don't even worry about it. I got it.
Yeah.
So what do? Plant 3-foot trees.
And you want what?
I wanted the 20-foot trees that were like privacy. So now in like 7 years, we'll have a proper situation.
I always wondered, like, do you have a picture of your property? Like,
No.
How do you know where the end is?
I don't. I mean, you can get one. Like, I think somewhere in the deed, there's like a old little property line. I wouldn't even have known that was my property.
How do you even know it is your property?
She told me.
But she doesn't really know, probably.
Well, she was like, that's the original fence line, so you have to assume.
Yeah.
But also, so my neighbor and I share a driveway.
Okay.
So we have to get along.
Yeah. There's a lot of, but you get along with everybody.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, when you talk about why neighbors kill each other.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah.
If you don't get along and you share a driveway, just imagine the kind of cluster effing you could do to each other.
Yeah. What about
I'm sorry, I put a pole here.
Right.
Is that bothering you?
Right. I hear a lot about like the fence is whatever, but then the tree is like over the fence. I
don't know.
Air rights.
Yeah, I still don't. Yeah, I know. I've been drinking his milkshake underground. I'm just drinking all his water under there.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I do. I'm glad I'm friends with the neighbors. It's really good. I think it's also like, I need somebody to take out the dog.
Right.
He'll do that.
Yeah.
Now we have a kid, like in an emergency. Like I think the pros and cons weigh heavily in favor of being friends with your neighbor if you can be.
So let's say, because one of our primary listeners is someone who moved to a new town.
Yeah.
So completely uprooted your life, moved to a new town, don't know anybody. What's the move?
I think it's the classic. Bring over a fucking pie.
No one does
yes,
that.
my neighbor did that.
A pie?
My old neighbor at a different place, this Vietnamese woman brought over like a Vietnamese pastry.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It's kind of weird though, because you have to wait till they're home, which I guess you can see because you're their neighbor.
You can drop it off.
Or just with a note?
Yeah, with a note. Hey, I just moved in next door.
Yeah.
I just feel like some of this old school stuff still works.
Right. Just bring some cookies.
Like it still works. I feel like actually, I don't know, sadly, like I wish when we moved in, like all of our neighbors did that. I wish I did that for my neighbors. I just found out there's like somebody who's pregnant down the block. Now it's making me think like we definitely have to go bring something over because I met their mom in town. She's like, what my son and his wife are pregnant. They live down the block. And that was like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh, we got to get them.
How far is too many houses away?
To be neighbor.
Yeah. Hey, I brought this pie, live 3 blocks away.
Yeah. It's like, you're not my neighbor.
Yeah.
You're neighbor adjacent.
Right. I mean, is that weird if you're like,
I think on the same block. It's got to be on the same block.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to limit friend interactions.
Right. Of course.
But I mean, definitionally, neighbor, it's got to be the same block.
But what about like, sometimes you just want to keep that arm's length, keep them more utilitarian. Like they hold the key and that's it. Like they're not really doing any stuff for you.
Okay, fine. I was going to say, make the case against because I think that's fair.
Oh, the case against?
Yeah, because I think what you're saying is right.
Right.
Sometimes I'm like, well, I can never go back.
Right. You can't go back. You can't never unring that bell.
You can never unring
You can't unmurder your neighbor.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can't go back.
Yeah.
So is there something to be said for not friend?
Or just keeping it
acquaintance,
yeah.
We've never really done an episode about acquaintances.
Because we're like, we go hard or we go home.
But I mean, maybe there is something to be said for like, you want your neighbor to be acquaintance for sure and friend maybe.
Right. I guess it depends on the neighbor.
Fine line.
Yeah. I mean, what if your neighbor could be a lot older, a lot younger?
Yes.
They could be married and you're not. It could be
I think I've been talking about neighbors that happen to have been around the same age, which makes it kind of like a no-brainer to be like, oh, we should be friends.
Right.
But if it's somebody much older in a different phase of life, you don't have a lot in common, like you don't need to be friends.
Those are probably the gems.
Yeah. Like they will do whatever you need them to do.
No, I meant like tell me about the war.
Oh, tell me about the war. Yeah. I wish I had a neighbor who was like telling me about the war.
Well, your response was what? They'll do whatever they tell you. You're going to browbeat an old woman?
Yeah, watch my kid for 8 hours while we're out on a date.
Right.
Yeah.
My parents have a great neighbor story.
Really?
So my parents bought their house, I believe in 1979.
Wow.
And I think maybe a neighbor on one side already lived there and a neighbor on the other side moved in a couple years later. And they lived, all 3 of them, next door to each other for like 40 years or something like that, 30 years. My dad is still, now they've both moved, which is a little sad. And my dad is still like best friends with both of them.
They got the invite to the barbecue every year?
Yeah, we had barbecue every
year. What about that? Do the neighbors get invited to your family barbecue?
Yeah. We had a family barbecue, which now is in a hiatus. But the whole block. We'd have like a block party.
I was just going to ask about this.
Yeah.
I feel like block parties are very underrated.
Very underrated.
Who organizes them?
I've never seen you so.
Well, because I'm just like, can I just start a block party? Like, I'm not even sure. Like, is the city involved? Is there like because you have to get some sort of,
Right.
Like, you got to get a hall pass in the city, right?
So our block parties were sort of informal. You're thinking of when the block is literally blocked off to traffic.
Well, because I want to ask this. Our next block over, I'm 3 houses away from an amazing block party.
Definitely, you're fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if somebody was like, I'm sorry, show me your mail?
Yeah, where are you from?
Hey guys, get this guy out of here.
But are you on the contiguous block or is it across the street?
No, it's across the street.
Oh,
it's on that curve.
Yeah. But so I think
jealous of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think is it honestly just for contiguous neighbors? Why don't you ask?
Yeah, I think technically it is, but I think they see us every day because I walked up and down that block. I know my neighbors in the neighborhood.
But it just made me think of like
they know I don't live there. Let's just put it that way.
Right, but they know you're like in the hood.
Yeah.
We had a very idyllic, our town, very suburban.
Yeah,
like it was just an informal people. I mean, I don't know if that exists. We live in LA. So like, does that exist? We're pretty close to like Metro Center.
2 block parties exist in big. I'm saying, we have one here.
But they close off the street.
Yeah,
with cones and shit.
Yeah, that's a real one.
So they must get the permits.
Yeah, they get the permits.
And is there people in the street?
I've been afraid to go because I know.
How often do they have a block party?
Once a year, and I've only been here 1 year. I don't know. I missed the first year.
Well, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Do I bring my mail just to prove that I'm close.
Well, you have a driver's license.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you just ask
I don't think my
somebody?
driver's license is updated with the new address.
You want to hear a tangential story?
Yeah.
So when I moved from New York to LA
Yeah.
18 years ago, I was very much like the typical New Yorker who's like, I'm just checking out LA. I'll stay for a few months. I'll move back to New York, like whatever. And I'm like, still got my like driver's license. I think I was doing a stand-up, but I still have my driver's license. Like I read like New York Magazine or whatever. And then like 6 months later, I got pulled over for blocking the box. Have that ever happened to you?
In New York.
No, in LA.
Oh, I didn't know they did that in LA.
Yeah, that's in New York.
There was like an advertisement, don't block the box in New York.
The problem in LA is that it just sneaks up on you. You're driving, all of a sudden you're stopped. So blocking a box means you're just blocking an intersection because the traffic backed up and you're that asshole who people going the other way. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's besides the point. So the cop.
I mean, it is your fault legally.
Correct.
And technically.
But I'm saying like.
How is it not your fault?
Well, I didn't know.
Whose fault is it?
I didn't know the traffic was.
What do you mean? It's your fault.
You're right.
Your insurance. You call your, hey, farmers, I have insurance going, why? I blocked the box.
Yeah.
Well, you are at fault.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to block the box, what I'm saying. Fuck you, Theo.
It wasn't malicious.
Yeah, Theo's laughing at me. So the cop comes over and he goes, all right, I have to write you a ticket. He takes the license registration, comes back. He goes, when did you move to LA? And I was like, about a year ago. He's like, the statute of limitations on changing your license is 90 days. So here's another ticket.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, okay, so I have to fucking go to the DMV, not take the driver's test, but I have to like take the exam, all the shit to transfer from New York to LA. I test everything. I get to the end and they go, I'm sorry, we can't issue you a license. I'm like, why not? Like, there's a warrant out for your arrest in Pennsylvania.
What?
I said, what? He said, yeah, there's a bench warrant or something.
Oh, no.
I'm like, Pennsylvania, I've never even been in Pennsylvania.
Well, you lived in Philly.
Right. I went to college. So like, okay, so I called the Pennsylvania DMV. Here's what happened. When I was a sophomore in 1998, I went to a sorority date party downtown Philadelphia. It got raided by the cops.
Okay.
Because we were all underage and we were all drunk. And the cop was taking all down my information. And I thought in my drunken state, if I just lied about my address, they couldn't find me. So I go, I live on 124 Spruce Street. Like I just changed it by one digit.
God.
So the next day, this is me in a nutshell. The next day, racked with guilt. I lied to the cops. They're going to get in more trouble. I call the police station and I'm like, yeah, I got a ticket last night. I just want to like update my address. They're like, okay, if we update it, no problem. I paid like $100 fine. I took the class for like one day for underage drinking. Because I called and I changed it, there were two flags in the system, and taking the class only cleared one of them, so the other one never got cleared.
124 Karo.
Exactly.
Was in jail. Bizarro
Exactly.
Karo.
Exactly.
Cross the street Karo.
Yeah. So I had to
scofflaw.
So I had to like pay like $20 of interest, 20 years of interest on this thing.
Like Bookman
and they cleared it.
Seinfeld, the overdue book.
The scofflaw. Yeah.
Wow.
So change that ID.
You could have really ended up in the clink.
Yeah. Could have
on
ended
that
up in the
one.
clink. Yeah.
Wow. You've had a lot of neighbors, let's just say.
Yeah. I have a lot of neighbors.
So how many friends would you say you've made? Because I feel like I can only make one friend.
Right.
Well, there's two sides, but my point is there a maximum amount of neighbors in a house? But in an apartment, you can make kind of like a lot of friends.
I've actually never really made friends with any apartment people.
Deliberately?
You
try and keep church and state
well, maybe because
separate?
people come and go. I think I've made friends with people in the building. The friends I've made recently are the closest quote unquote friends that I've ever made in a building.
Okay. Why?
Because I see them every day at the gym. So like I interact with them. Like they're, around our age.
It's really funny that like your third place is in your home.
Right. The gym. That's why I meet people in the gym. The gym is in my building.
The gym is in your house.
Yeah. Also because we've been doing the podcast, so I'm more, I've been trying to practice what I preach.
Yeah.
So this was the couple that I saw every day for 2 years and I never said anything to.
Now you are friends.
And now we're friends.
And have you socialized? How do you define that?
We haven't socialized yet, but they said they're coming to my birthday.
Oh, so you gave them a real invite.
So
leveling up.
So we became Instagram friends and became DM friends. Then I was like, give me your email addresses.
Yeah.
Because when I was doing my invitation for my birthday, I was trying to practice. We talked about the concept of social universe, which is taking inventory of basically everyone all your friends. And I was like, you know what, Cam and Danielle, it's time to take that step. So I included them. They're going to come.
Problem is,
Yeah.
you are a man of efficiency.
Yeah.
And so this could really hamstring you if you get slowed down in the chit chat. Will you feel obligated to chit chat more if you
In the gym?
just anywhere you see these people in your building now?
It's a great question. No, we have a perfect balance of chit chat.
Okay.
They're great chit chatters.
You know what's slowing me down right now?
Not enough.
And I like chit chat.
Yeah.
But I also usually, when we were talking about like when you're walking in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
you just like, I'm on my phone, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what's really slowing me down?
The baby.
The baby.
The baby. People want to see the baby.
And I'm like stuck in a slow moving vehicle, like
Yeah.
a really slow moving vehicle.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do. So there's this woman who lives down my block that is insane,
Yeah.
like just a crazy older lady. And I really like her, but she's like wackadoo, like
Right.
could be a witch, like a good witch. Like she stopped me and she's like, oh, the guy who lived in your house, he had a dog and I was scared. So I climbed this tree over here.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Right.
And she's like, you told me it was a girl. It's a boy. I'm like, I never said that. So every morning it's something like that, you know? So where I'm almost to the point where like, do I go in the other direction now?
Oh, you mean physically?
Physically. Do I walk the long way around?
I just want to go back to she's like a witch, but a good witch.
Yeah. Because like I know that she means well.
Right,
Because like
right.
she says all these wacky stuff, but then she's like, I'm going to knit him a sweater that will protect him.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's great. She's great.
You have built a obstacle course of your own good intentions.
Yes. Because I'm so chit-chatty now,
Yeah.
it's like my trip to the coffee shop and back is endless.
But you like that.
I do.
Yeah.
But like we were talking about with neighbors, like once you commit,
Oof, yeah.
you have no way out.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, because you're not like a retired person.
That's what I'm saying. Like I have a job. I have my hour walk. Like I have my hour in the morning.
An hour walk?
Well, no, to the coffee shop, get the coffee and back.
You still do an hour walk?
Well, yeah, it's an hour total. So it's, 20 minutes, 10 minutes in the coffee shop, like 10 minutes outside, just chilling, and then right back around.
Damn.
Yeah.
So an hour walk, and then you would probably work out for an hour every day.
Right.
That's 2 hours of your day.
Yeah.
You're the most productive person I know, and I'm very productive.
Outside of that, there's not a minute
Right.
off that isn't like,
Right.
but except for other chit chats. I like a good chit chat. But I try to do those.
I mean, I think that's, maybe we should talk about this in another episode. Your hour walk, it's so healthy.
Well, that's why I do it. And I also want the baby to have the fresh air, but I've always done it for my mental headspace to get locked in for the day.
What time is this walk?
6:30.
What if it's cold or rainy?
Well, so that's rare in LA, which
Right,
is nice.
Right.
I will do it. I won't take the baby if it's not nice. I'll still do it.
Does Ala go with you?
She doesn't wake up till like noon. The dog that Karo wants to put down.
Who wakes
The
up?
dog that Karo wants to put down.
One time I said, should she be put down?
She's got a mass that is non-tumorous.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Non-tumorous, you asshole.
Okay. Should we put her
Non-tumorous.
down? Okay. Who wakes up later, your wife or your dog?
They both love their sleep.
You accomplished so much before anyone in your family's up.
It's amazing.
That's why you have so many texts to me in the morning.
Yes, because
Because
there's nobody around.
There's
me.
nobody around.
We wanted to talk about like, hey, how do you attract neighbors, or if you wanted to try to reach out to a neighbor,
Yeah.
like what are some of the ways? Like when you're a kid, you've got that basketball hoop. It's like inviting.
Right.
I have a pool. That's easy.
Yeah, pool's
The
great.
lowest hanging.
But that's like, then people are like,
Committed. I
if you do go anytime, do you say
know.
anytime?
I do. Now it's gonna be anytime. Right?
Yeah.
I have another neighbor who's like, as a young kid, and it was like, where do you do swim? Where are you gonna do swim lessons? Like, you know where I'm gonna do swim lessons. You know where we're gonna do
Right.
swim lessons.
Wow, inviting himself over for swim lessons.
Yeah,
What did you say?
I said absolutely,
Yeah.
and maybe we will.
Right.
TBD.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a soft commitment.
A pool is a great way to attract, but also then you can't get rid of anybody.
Right. There's a lot of pros and there's like.
Did you have a basketball hoop in front of your house?
No. I wish.
Yeah.
Wait, we should have. Did I? God, I don't even remember. I don't know. A lot of our friends had these basketball hoops that were a little crooked, and you really would wreck your ankles worse than skiing.
And the basketball hoop in my house growing up, it was like the driveway was lined with like, I don't know, like, just bricks,
Yeah.
gray bricks.
Right.
So when you scored a basket, hit the brick and just smash you
Just
nuts.
totally.
Every
it's
time.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
I like nobody in our town had a nice flat
Right.
surface.
Yeah.
Regulation.
That's what the park was for.
Yeah, that was what the park.
And
was
for drinking underage.
Yeah, and for underage drinking.
So a basketball hoop, a pool, cornhole,
cornholes, good.
barbecues.
Barbecues.
Yeah.
Barbecue's good.
Do you know
I'm
how to
having a
barbecue?
Yes, I just barbecued this week.
Where was I?
It was for my family. It was a family only.
My family? No, I'm joking. I got to admit, I don't really know how to
I
barbecue.
mean, there's not much to it. I hate people who are like, I'm the barbecue king. It's like you turn it on.
I don't know. My
You
dad
close
always.
the lid. The burgers are done.
But my dad's always he's scraping, he's squirting.
Yeah.
No,
It's one scrape, one squirt. It's actually the biggest mistake of barbecuing is flipping too many times.
Right. There's something I feel somewhat emasculated when I'm at a barbecue. And someone else is like standing there and like fucking doing whatever.
You're not the barbecue king.
No, but like that's not what I bring.
Yeah, that's okay.
I bring ice and booze.
Yeah, I stand by the barbecue the whole time and talk to nobody. That's my time. At my house, I'm the barbecue. But people will come over, like hang out
and
with
chit chat with you.
Yeah, it's like my spot.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
So barbecue's good. Cool.
One squirt. What do you say?
One squirt, one scrape.
But you gotta do it.
Oh, barbecue. It's so complicated.
You gotta do it in the right order.
Yeah. One scrape, one squirt, actually. It's scrape, then squirt.
But what about the gas? I'm afraid of like blowing up the block.
I mean, I've definitely had a few major near fires.
How does it work? What is it?
Fire.
No, but like it's
well, it depends. I have a gas one. Some people use charcoal. Some people use wood fire. So when you're talking about the squeezy, I don't do any squeezy because I have a gas.
So he just turns it on. It's like a stove.
It's like a stove. Mine's just like a stove,
right.
Which people would call like a bullshit barbecue.
Oh, really?
Like, the barbecue experts, they only, they want like charcoal or wood.
What, they use a match?
Yeah.
Nobody does that anymore.
Or they use a squirty.
No, but you're talking about it does. Everyone we know has a knob.
Well, some people don't. Some people use charcoal. Some people use wood.
But like it's a freestanding barbecue, but there's no electronics. It's just
they just use like
nobody
wood.
Uses that anymore.
Yeah, they do. A
really?
lot of people do. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the old school method.
But like it just turns on the gas. The gas comes out. It's like a stove.
Yeah, I mean, I could just basically be saying, I'm stoving tonight, guys. Who wants stove? You want to come over? Hey, neighbor, come on over. I'm stoving. That's all I'm doing. I'm stoving.
Oh, fuck.
I'm stoving, but outdoors.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow. You've just really. I'm a fucking moron.
No, it's just everybody's like, kind of like, I'm barbecuing, but like, I'd say no. Some men really take it very, very seriously, and like mosquito.
But like, if I like the other day, I made like a frozen pizza and I just put it in the oven. You can just
You're
do
a barbecue king.
Wow, I've been so intimidated.
Yeah, you're a barbecue king.
I'm a barbecue
that's
king.
The thing. I think that's what it is. It's
oh,
like,
fuck.
We're like, I guess I gotta go chop wood. No, you gotta go. And then you're gonna go. And then you're gonna go, it's ready.
Oh, just for our audio listeners, that was Ritter.
I did one scrape.
You did one scrape.
No squirt.
No squirt.
One scrape, one flip, one lid close, one lid open.
Fuck. I mean, one more. I know we're very barbecue heavy. How do you know when it's done?
So I don't. I just know by the feeling of like the size of the burger.
So you take it off, you cut it open and see.
No, I never cut it open. I just like feel it just from barbecuing enough.
Right.
I know the size and like just softness of when you kind of pat it. It depends on how you
My
like
dad
your burger.
fucking puts the thermometer in.
Well, there's a big debate about like whether a burger should be medium rare or medium well at barbecues. People have different.
Isn't it by taste?
No, but I'm saying some people say like barbecue medium well is actually better than medium rare or medium. Like I like a little medium rare on everything.
Isn't it by individual taste?
Yes, but people are so aggro about some of this stuff. They're like, no, it's objectively this.
It's 2023. Get what you want. Get what you want. You want a turkey burger? I don't find.
Yeah. Have a turkey burger.
Yeah. Just listen. It's the same.
Have a Dr. Prager's veggie burger.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a classic.
Oh,
veggie, right?
sweet, sweet Mother Mary.
So anyway,
Jesus.
so neighbor friends, I think on the whole, it's really nice because it's easy for low key hangs. Now that I have a kid, like 100%, just like it doesn't even have to be a thing. Hey, we're making margaritas.
Right.
Like, hey, we're just having daddy juice.
Yeah. Don't call it daddy juice.
No.
Also, last time you had margaritas with your neighbor, you had a nervous breakdown.
That is true.
Matt went margaritas to martinis.
Marks
to martinis.
Never do it. But also just, you got to make sure you're committed to that neighbor.
But also neighbors leave. Neighbors move.
Get them to move.
Yeah.
Get them to move.
Yeah,
That's what happens. People usually start off as friends.
Right.
Then they become frenemies. Then they become enemies. Then one of them tries to get the other one to move. And then the other one kills
Murder.
Them. Yeah. That's the arc of a neighbor friend.
I love that. Should we take a listener question?
Asking for a friend.
Guys, this is Asking for a Friend, where we answer your friendship questions and ethical dilemmas. Send us your questions on Instagram at Man of the Year Podcast, and we'll answer on the show.
So this comes from a listener named Brian.
Mm-hmm.
He says he lives in the suburbs.
Okay.
And he walks by a neighbor who he wants to be friends with. And he said, I want to be friends with him because when I was walking by, I noticed that he had in his recycling bin Snake River Farms steaks. So if you don't know what that is, that's like the new bougie Omaha steaks. So he was like, he said, my wife and I are convinced they're bougie like us and we'd be good friends. But how the hell do I bring that up without being accused of being a stalker?
Okay. First of all, these are like Omaha steaks, like frozen steaks that you
Yes,
get.
but Snake River Farms is considered like
Okay.
Wagyu.
Okay.
Long story short, he's basically saying like, I know these are our kinds of people.
Is it pronounced Wagyu?
I don't know.
Wagyu?
Oh God.
Either way,
Oh God, I'm
Theo will
God,
let
I'm
us
such
know.
a low
But
life.
but by the way, I had it recently. I think it's a scam.
Oh no, I had Wagyu. Why? Now,
What?
Wagyu meatballs. I had Wagyu. We had a private chef here for Jess's sister's birthday. And he
Yeah.
did Wagyu meatballs.
First of all, it could have been anything.
No, because I go, these are the greatest meatballs I've ever had in my life before I
Yeah.
knew they were Wagyu.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay. Also, why were there steaks in the?
No, he saw the label.
Okay, you just said there were steaks in the recycling.
No, the steak wrappers.
So why was the recycling bin open? Oh, because it was the yellow thing that's open.
I guess.
First of
Maybe
all,
in his
why is this
suburb
guy
it's
just
open.
looking at fucking?
He's looking for friends.
Yeah.
In all the right places.
Yeah. So he saw a bougie steak wrapper in a recycling bin and goes, "These guys are probably fun and have bougie parties. How do I want to bring that up?"
I don't know the answer, but I love it. I have a thought, but I want to hear your
My
thought.
first thought,
Okay.
I always have first thought, then your thought always makes my
No.
thought some. Just say that you happen to notice the thing in the recycling bin. It's funny.
That is funny. But I don't know if it was open.
Well, you're saying he opened the
I
recycling
think-
bin?
I have to reread it. I think he may have said he opened it, but I think obviously if you saw it, but also is that weird? I mean, I like what you're saying. Like just be like,
Well, on the curb, right?
right. I just noticed that you had Snake River Farms in your recycling bin.
Well, I think.
It's not like totally single white female, but it's a little stalker.
Does he know this person?
No.
Does he know this person? Have they ever met?
No.
Oh, this is just. Does he
Yeah.
know what he looks like?
I don't know. He didn't get into
Oh.
He said they live on our block
Oh,
or
okay.
something. So
Interesting.
clearly they're not next door neighbors.
I don't know. What do you think?
My thoughts are, this is like Psycho Town, but my thoughts are, is this crazy? You order Snake River Farms with that person's name on it and have it delivered to your house and go, hey, I think these got delivered to my
Dude,
house.
that is a sociopath. That is sociopath. No, I think you do the opposite. You deliver it under your name to their address.
Oh yeah, that's much more simple. I was close.
Right. So you force them to come to you.
So you order, yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I
We
think
got
of the
there.
most
That's why.
psychotic one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yours makes total
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So you order
Yeah.
Snake River Farms,
Right.
but you write their address on it
Yeah.
with your name.
Right.
So it shows up at their house. That's genius.
Theoretically, you could order anything and to their house and have them.
Oh, right. Because are we going like too
Like,
coincidental?
hey, that's like just order like a bottle of wine. I don't know.
Right.
That's
So you just
insane.
order like a bottle of Justin wine that's like also bougie, but not too on the nose. Like, what if they're like, do you think they saw the Snake River?
Is this practical advice though? Would you ever do that?
I probably would do what you said.
Just say, hey,
Hey, I noticed you.
I was rummaging through your bin.
I know there is a little bit of like, is that crazy to be like, hey, I noticed in your recycling bin,
But also, how are they going to find this person?
they know their house.
Yeah, but you mean knock on the door?
Well, yeah, you'd have to.
No, you got to wait till you see him out.
Yeah. So how do you do that? You got to keep
You have to
walking up
wait.
and down the block.
You have to walk up and down the. Jesus Christ! You have to walk up and down the block every day. Check their bins.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I think your idea is much simpler. Just order Snake River Farms with your name on it to their house.
But for that to work, they have to know your name.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Shit! Fucking
Damn it!
producer Theo
Damn
from
it.
the top rope.
Oh my god!
It's the worst advice we've ever given. It's the worst advice. Okay, here's some more practical advice.
Okay.
Ask other neighbors. Do you know?
Yes.
Get the introduction.
Get the introduction from your neighbors. Oh, I heard these neighbors moved in down the block.
Well, you're just assuming they just moved in. They could
Oh,
have
yeah,
been
they
for
could be
years.
there, yeah.
I mean, that's like trying to meet anybody. That's like trying to meet a girl that you see around, but you don't know who she
but
is.
you've got the commonality. You've got the Snake River
You
Farms.
have to see them out in the world.
and bring up Snake River Farms somehow.
Buy a Snake River Farm t-shirt.
Whoa. Do we want to be sponsored by Snake River Farm? I will wear a Snake River Farms t-shirt.
I love a good steak.
Listen, we'll make this friendship happen. We'll start spreading Snake River Farm buddies. We'll make snake friends.
Asking for a Friend is brought to
For
you
you
by
by
Snake River Farms. Should we just put the logo in?
Yeah, let's just make that our new
Theo,
segment.
just put it in there.
sponsor. Yeah. Ooh, t-shirts is good.
T-shirts of another
Of
company?
a Snake River Farms company.
Yeah.
Man, this is not as easy as we once initially thought.
I never thought it was easy. I thought it was psychotic from the beginning. I think it's psychotic now.
Yeah, but I like this. This is a tough one. This is a tough one to crack.
I think you asked for an introduction
Yes.
from I was going to say rival neighbor, but another neighbor.
Do you wrap your car in Snake River for like car wrap? You know those wraps?
I mean,
like,
there's so many problems. What if it wasn't? What if it was someone that had a house guest?
no. No house guest orders delivered steaks to your house
No.
that take weeks to come.
Bring it over as
No, it's like a delivery thing. It's not
Right.
like a
Right.
you don't get it in the grocery store.
I'm guessing that probably the bin was open. A normal person would
Right.
not have opened the bin.
Right.
So next time he sees them, it's tough. I don't know if it's a suburb or the city.
Right. Suburbs. Said suburbs.
I think you just got to wait till you see them. You got to walk around the block every day for a
Right.
year.
So I think what you do is you open with a somewhat bougie something that's not Snake River right away.
Like, oh, we're like going to the Hamptons this weekend.
Yeah. Like, oh, we we're eating. I don't know.
What's
I don't know
bougie?
any
I
bougie
know we're not
stuff.
bougie.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're offering very, yeah.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so every neighborhood has a recycling day, right? So they're probably going to put out their bins maybe that morning or the night before.
Yeah.
So just every Thursday night, every Thursday morning, whatever it is, you go on a walk, and then it seems like this recycling bin is open, so it's out in the open. So hopefully you walk by, there's another Snake River Farms thing in the recycling bin.
Okay, so
and
Theo, by the way,
that's your moment.
So Theo may have cracked it, but he went too far.
Yeah.
All you need is to meet them.
That's what I was going to say.
You don't need to go into Snake
wait
River
outside
right
of
away.
recycling day.
I like the recycling
Yeah,
day.
yeah, you were
Walk
close.
by at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
every Thursday.
With a Snake River
Yeah,
t-shirt.
with a Snake
yeah.
River t-shirt.
Yeah.
You just walk by. No, you don't need the Snake River t-shirt, but it would be great if you had it.
Yeah.
You just walk by every day till you get to meet them and have it in your mind that you're gonna drop Snake River at some point in the second or third convo.
Right.
Be like, oh
Not the
man,
first
there's no. You know what? I wish they had a good steakhouse around here.
Yeah.
I wish there was a good steakhouse around
I wish there was any way to get steak delivered.
I wish there was a steak delivery around here.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Snake River. Oh, I love Snake River. You love Snake River? Oh, dude, we should just maybe throw them on the grill sometime.
Or they could use the line from our new line of merch.
Want to be friends?
We should be friends.
Fucking,
Come on, Matt. It's our own merch. It says we should be friends.
Yeah, we should be friends.
Which you can find at bonfire.com/man of the year podcast. Okay, so did we answer that psychotic question with a psychotic?
I think so. You
answer?
gotta either get an intro from a neighbor, or you gotta show up on recycling day on the morning walk and make conversation.
Please, Brian, let us know if any of this works or if you got arrested.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, this is all a joke.
I hope they end up as Snake River buddies.
Asking for a friend.
This is Asking for Friends, sponsored by Snake River Farms.
This is Asking for a Friend, brought to you by Snake River Farms. Send us your question. Should we do a couple shout outs?
Yes.
So I think in our group of friends, there's two sets. There's the people who don't listen to the podcast, which
They're dead to us.
I mean, like, I guess I feel neutral about.
Of our 9 friends, I think half.
No, I mean our whole group.
Oh, our entire 50 friends
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
world? Or
Yeah,
60?
everybody.
You have like 100.
Yeah, there's people who don't listen to the pod. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, people are busy.
Yeah.
Then there's people who do listen, and they're giving us notes, they're giving us feedback, and we love them. Obviously, when someone says, "Oh, I listen to your podcast," you're like, well,
Yes.
I love you now."
Yes.
Now there's a third category. Apparently, our buddy Claudio has been listening to the podcast, but never mentioned it. Never
Silent
mentioned it.
fan.
Yeah, silent. He's the silent majority.
Wow.
And I just want to give Claudio props for listening to the podcast, much better than half our friends.
Yeah.
Claudio
Say it.
is my best friend. Claudio has been my best friend before I knew you.
Yeah.
Before I knew Brian.
Just keep trying to climb out of that hole.
It's not a hole. I mean, I love Claudio. We mentioned him in the pod. I just wanted to give him a shout out. Said thank you
Shout
for
out,
listening.
Claude.
Dude, it's me, you, Brian.
Second graders.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And actually, Claudio has something that I admire in you as well. That even keel.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Claudio angry in my whole life.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen you angry either.
No, but I only had one meltdown and you missed it. Pre-baby.
What did I call
nervous
it?
breakdown.
Nervous breakdown. Nervous breakdown.
Now I'm back to even keel.
So anyway, Claudio, we love you. I love you. And if
Love
you
you,
want
Claude.
us to give a shout to one of your buddies, hit us up on Instagram. We'll shout you out on the show. So what did we learn?
I think we learned neighbor friends is a great, if you're in a new city or you just don't have that many friends, that's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit for a low key hang.
Yeah.
You don't need to do anything. You can just be like, hey, do you want to come over? I'm making steaks.
Don't sleep on neighbors, but be selective.
Yeah.
And I learned that barbecuing is just basically a glorified stove outside.
Still, you want to come over for stove?
We want a stove. We want to stove it up. We got a stove.
Summer
this weekend.
stove.
We got a stove. Theo, anything? This is Erroneous with Thelonious.
We're all good today.
Well, there was
Wow.
one thing you were supposed to look
No.
up.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's Wagyu.
What did I say?
You said like
I think you said like yeah.
Wagyu?
But you basically had it. Aaron
Just
had it.
40
Wagyu.
something years of saying it wrong. Oh, what a shame.
That's our show, guys. As I said before, we have our first merch. Go to bonfire.com/Man of the Year podcast. And remember, be good to yourself, be good to your friends.
Love you, buddy.
buddy.